So good day everyone. We are the presenter 13 to discuss about the taxonomy of objectives. So first, I am Ms. Ranconada together with Mr. Vista and Mr. Tambong, and we are going to discuss the Bloom's taxonomy, New Bloom's taxonomy, Krathwohl's taxonomy, Harlow's taxonomy. So that is our topic outline. So the next is our objective. So at the end of the topic, the learner will be able to define the meaning of Bloom's taxonomy, New Bloom's taxonomy or the revised taxonomy, Krathwohl's taxonomy, and the Harlow's taxonomy. The second one is discuss and explain what is Bloom's taxonomy, New Bloom's taxonomy, Krathwohl's taxonomy, and Harlow's taxonomy. So the third one is create an example of Bloom's taxonomy, New Bloom's taxonomy, Krathwohl's taxonomy, and Harlow's taxonomy relating to the subject, Araling Panlipunan. So, in creating an example, we are going to relate it on the Araling Panlipunan lessons. So, I am Ms. Ranconada to discuss the Bloom's taxonomy. So first, let's know who is Benjamin Bloom. So, Benjamin Bloom was born on February 21, 1913 in Lansford, Pennsylvania, US. And in 1950s, taxonomy was developed by Benjamin Bloom. He is a professor at the University of Chicago. His taxonomy recognizes learning into cognitive domains of knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So, si Benjamin Bloom, finormulate niya yung cognitive domain, which is ginawa niya noong 1950s. No? So, siya rin ay isang PhD or doctorate, an doctorate or graduation and doctorate in education, psychology, in University of Chicago, and na-publish niya yung Taxonomy of Education Objectives noong 1956. So, let's talk about the Bloom's taxonomy. So, Bloom's taxonomy is probably best known system for classifying educational objectives as well as classroom questions. There are levels of Bloom's taxonomy and questions that each level required the person responding to use a different of thought process. So, dito sa Bloom's taxonomy, gumagamit tayo ng iba't ibang educational objectives at gumagamit tayo ng iba't ibang verbs kung paano masasagot ng ating mga students yung ating mga lessons, kung paano sila nakakasunod. So sa pag-formulate ng Bloom's taxonomy during 1950, specifically noong 1956, ginawa to ni Benjamin Bloom para mag-guide yung teacher kung ano yung dapat niyang gawin sa isang klase, and also kung ano yung dapat na ibigay na mga verbs, na mga gagamiting salita doon sa kanyang lesson. So, may 6 levels yung Bloom's taxonomy. So, magsisimula tayo sa pinakababa, which is knowledge together with comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and last, evaluation. So, dito sa 6 levels, so mauna muna yung pinaka-lower, yung pinaka-baba, which is yung knowledge. Level 1 is knowledge. So, the first level of taxonomy, it is required the student to recognize or recall information. The student is not asked to manipulate information, but merely to remember. It's just it was learned also to answer a question on the knowledge level. So dito sa knowledge level daw, ang student is hinahayaang makapag-recall ng isang lesson. Hindi siya tinatanong about ng information kung anong natutunan niya, pero kung ano yung natutunan niya sa lesson. Like for example, the topic is economics. So, ikaw as a teacher, syempre wala pang alam yung mga yung mga students natin. So, ngayon, ikaw, magla-lesson ka muna. So, if hindi natapos yung lesson, then next day, you will ask the students, what is your topic last day? So, from that, mabilis na marirecall ng mga student kung ano yung napag-aralan nila sa economics. Like, ano yung ibig sabihin ng economics, saan galing na word yung economics. Ganun. Next. So, ito yung mga words na frequently found in knowledge. Ito yung mga questions or mga words na ginagamit sa knowledge. So, define, what, remember, who, recall, recognize, when, and where. So, ayun yung mga gagamitin natin sa knowledge. So, the next level, tapos na tayo sa knowledge. So, next naman tayo is comprehension. So, question in this level require the student to demonstrate that has a sufficient understanding to recognize and arrange material mentally. So, the student must select those facts that are pertinent to answering the question. In order to answer the comprehension level question, the student must demonstrate personal grasp of material. So dito, comprehension question, a student will ask to interpret and translate the material that is presented on the chart, table, and cartoons. So dito sa comprehension, mas naiintindihan ng mga student if you have a model or may pinapakita ka sa kanila. Or may nakikita sila na para mas maintindihan nila kung ano ba talaga yung ibig sabihin ng comprehension. So dito, yung student will demonstrate the understanding kung ano yung naintindihan nila dun sa topic mo. Halimbawa natin, ang example natin dito is yung inflation rate sa Pilipinas. So, magpapakita ka ng isang bar graph. So dito, inflation rate in the Philippines. Dito, madedemonstrate nila or madediscuss nila kung ano yung nakikita nila dito sa graph. So, by comprehension daw, makakatulong daw kung mag-present or mag-illustrate sila ng graphs, charts, and tables, and so on. So, ito naman yung mga words na ginagamit sa comprehension question. So, we have a describe yung own words or yung own words ng mga students. Basta, align sa comprehension, replace, construct, compare, explain the main idea. So, dito nga, dine-demonstrate nila yung kanilang mga tanong or yung kanilang ginagawa. So, dito, next level, tapos na tayo sa knowledge, tapos na tayo sa comprehension. Our next is the application. So, a question that asks the student to apply previously learned information in order to reach an answer to a problem is that application level of taxonomy. So dito, hindi lang naman math yung sinusolve natin. Marami rin tayong ibang subjects pa sinusolve like sa science, like sa AP, di ba? Sa AP, ang example natin dito is the political map. So dito, yung teacher is mag-a-ask ng student, ang teacher dito is magbibigay ng definition sa student kung ano yung latitude and longitude. So, you as a teacher, kailangan mo mag-provide ng isang political map to know or para maturo sa kanila kung ano yung latitude and longitude. So, doon pa lang, next other day, kapag magpa-exam ka or magpa-quiz ka, alam na nila kung ano ibig sabihin ng latitude and longitude. So, you as a teacher, kailangan mo rin mag-extra effort kung paano nila ma-apply yung lesson mo. So, next. So, words are found in application question. So, apply, use, how many, what it is, classify, solve, employ, write an example, choose, or which. Next. So, next, tapos na tayo sa knowledge, comprehension, application. Next is analysis. So, dito, analysis question are higher level questions that require students to think critically in the depth analysis question as students to engage in the three kinds of cognitive process. So, ano nga ba yung cognitive process? So, let's have an example. So, number one, ito na yung cognitive process to identify the motives, reasons, or causes for a specific occurrence. So, example natin, what are the countries that colonized in the Philippines? So, dito, hinahayaan natin yung student mag-think critically. kung ano yung nalalaman nila about ano yung mga countries na kinolonize yung Philippines. Ganon. So, ito naman, the second question is to consider and analyze available information in order to reach conclusion. In inference or generalization based on the information. So, halimbawa, how do you appraise the Philippine chance in its claims over the Spratnys? Ganon. Ganon yung mga cognitive process question. So, next, analyze the conclusion, interference, inference, or generalization to find evidence to support or refute it. So, ayun yung mga general questions. So, ayun nga, what are the countries that colonized the Philippines? So, ngayon, gagawa mo siya ng conclusion. Wherein, gagawin mo from that topic is, ano yung mga naging ambag ng mga sumakop sa Pilipinas. Ganun. Parang gagawa mo siya ng conclusion from that. So, ayun yung analysis. Next. So, ito yung mga words na frequently found in analysis questions. So, identify the motives or causes, draw conclusions, support, determine evidence, and analyze. So, next, so synthesis, the fifth level of Bloom's taxonomy. So, synthesis questions are higher order questions that ask students to perform original and creative thinking. This kind of question require the student too. So, ito dapat ang merong synthesis question. So, produce original communication. So, ngayon kasi hindi pa natin alam kung sino yung national hero natin. So, you can make a question like, who is our national hero? So, syempre, sasagot yung ating student na si Jose Rizal. Pero, wala pa talaga tayong legal basis na nagsasabing si Jose Rizal talaga ang ating national hero. So, next, make a prediction. So, you as a teacher, you should make some yung mga katotohanan, ganun. So, make a prediction, siguro, sasabihin mo na ano yung mga katangian para masabing isang dapat maging national hero sa Jose Rizal and kung sino pa. Kasi lahat naman ng bayanin natin is a hero. Pero ngayon, wala pa talaga nagsasabi na may national hero tayo. So, next, solve the problem. So, doon pa lang, you as a teacher, kailangan marunong ka mag-solve ng problem doon sa who is our national hero. So, dito sa solve problem, so meron tayong critical thinking skills. Gamitin natin ang critical thinking skills, no? So, the topic is, who is our national hero? So, siguro, maano natin na sa solve the problema dito is, humanap tayo ng mga legal basis kung sino talaga yung ating national hero. The words that found in synthesis question: predict, produce, write, design, develop. How can we improve? What would happen if can you devise? How can we solve? Ganun. So this is the last level of Bloom's taxonomy. So the evaluation. So, siya yung pinaka nasa taas. So, the last level of taxonomy is evaluation. Evaluation, like synthesis and analysis, is higher order mental process. Evaluation question do not have a single idea to answer. So, they are required the student to judge the merit of an idea, a solution to a problem, an aesthetic word. They may also ask the student offer an opinion on an issue. So, halimbawa natin dito is, do you prepare urban life to rural life? Ganon. So, is having a woman president a sure guarantee to a better life? So, mga ganong question. Para sinusubukan mo yung student mo kung paano sila mag-isip o paano sila makasunod doon sa issue, doon sa tanong. Ganon. So, may mga words din tayo na ginagamit sa evaluation process or sa evaluation question. We have judge, giving opinion, argue, which is better, the picture, decide, do you agree, evaluate, would it be better, assess. So, ayun. So, why Bloom's taxonomy is important? So, Bloom's taxonomy can help educator map learning within a single lesson or even a whole course. So, using the taxonomy as a guide, trainers can identify clearly instructional goals corresponding to each taxonomy level and create plans to achieve them. So, Bloom's taxonomy allow educators to gauge the learner's progress, and it helps teachers determine which level every learner is on and assign them an individual task. So, importante yung Bloom's taxonomy kasi dito natin nalalaman as a teacher yung mga ginagawa natin sa every lesson. Kung ano yung mga merong taglay yung ating mga estudyante. Kasi sa isang klase, iba't ibang mga estudyante yung makakaharap natin. Hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, hindi lang isang ugali, kundi marami pa. So you as a teacher, kailangan mo rin gumawa ng strategy wherein the students can makisama or makapag-participate sa ginagawa mong lesson. So that's it for today class. So next reporter or next discussant is si Mr. Vista. Thank you.
So thank you, Miss Jen, for teaching our class the Bloom taxonomy. So next, I'm Michael III as Vista. I'm Sir Michael. So I'm the one teaching the revised Bloom taxonomy, which the Andrew and Cratwell domain. So before we start, I'm just asking if you had knowledge in these two taxonomy. Anyone? So we know that the Anderson and Cratwell these two gentlemen are the primary authors, the revision that what had become known as Bloom taxonomy and ordering of cognitive skill. A taxonomy is really like just a word or form of classification. So this taxonomy had a permitted teaching and instructional planning for almost 50 years before it was revised in 2000. And although this crucial revision was published in 2001, surprisingly, there are still education had never heard of Anderson and Cratwell or their important work in relation in Bloom's cognitive taxonomy. So these two are called together a group of educational psychologists and education to help them with the revision. Lauren Anderson was once a student of form Benjamin Bloom and David Cratwell. Was once Bloom partner has their advice. His class's cognitive taxonomy. So Lauren Anderson is a former student of Bloom, the one who updated and revised the taxonomy that reflect the 21st century work for both students and teachers. Also, by four hands, Anderson changed the taxonomy in three broad, which categories, terminology, instruction, and emphasis. Anderson modified the original terminology by changing Bloom's categories from nouns to verbs. So ayun nga, nung napag-aralan natin nakaraan, nung Bloom taxonomy daw ay nouns lang yun. Pero ngayon ay verb na. Ito na ngayon yun. Noong 1990, yung evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, comprehension, and knowledge. Ngayon naman ay create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, remember. So, ayun nga, na-evaluate ay naging pangalawa na sa una at yung synthesis, which is create, ay pinagpalit na. So, paano nga malalaman natin kung anong klase ng category ito? Example sa remember. Remember, ano ba gagamitin mong word? Is recognizing, recalling. Sa understanding naman is interpreting, clarifying, paraphrasing, representing. Sa apply naman, which is executing, carrying out, implementing, paggamit. Sa analyze naman is differentiating, discriminating, distinguishing, focusing, and selecting. Sa evaluate naman is checking, coordinating, monitoring, testing, and critiquing. Ang pinakauli naman is create, which means is generating, hypothesizing, planning, designing, and producing construct. So, ilan lang yan sa mga pwedeng magamit na verb sa paggawa ng Bloom Taxonomy. In the revised taxonomy knowledge, it's all the basis these 6 cognitive processes, but in authors created a separate taxonomy of the type of knowledge used in cognition, which is factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, and metacognitive knowledge. So, sa factual knowledge nga, ito naman ang knowledge of terminology. Kung ano lang pagkakalam natin sa word. Example, economics. Ano ba alam natin sa economics? Alam natin dito ng supply demand, yun lang. Tapos, sa conceptual knowledge. Knowledge of classification and categories. Dito naman natin malalaman ng pagkaiba-iba ng example natin sa economics. Ano ang na economics? May microeconomics, may macroeconomics, at kung ano-ano pa. Ang pangatlo naman is ang procedural knowledge. Knowledge of subject, specific skill, and algorithms. Dito naman, more on siya, yung subject specific, technique, and methods. Ito ng criteria determining when to use appropriate procedure. So, nung pinakauli naman, ito nung metacognitive knowledge. O mas kilalang strategic knowledge. Knowledge about cognitive tasks, including appropriate, contextual, and conditional knowledge. Ito nung kalimitan nung parang sa mga philosopher ng mga sarili nilang isip. So ito nga, magbibigyan ako ng example ng mga ito. Example sa factual knowledge. List. Describe, list. Sa remember. Understand, summarize. Sa apply naman is classify. Analyze is order. Sa evaluate naman is rank. Sa create is confirm. Sa conceptual knowledge naman is describe sa remember, interpret sa understand, experiment sa apply, explain sa analyze, assess naman sa evaluate, and also plan naman sa create. Procedural knowledge naman is tabulate, remember. So, ayun nga, diba? Sinabi nga kanina sa procedural is by process, by method, ayun. Product, understand, calculate, apply, differentiate naman sa analysis, and conclude sa evaluate, create, compose. Sa metacognitive naman is, eto nga, diba, sinabi ko nga kanina is, eto nung parang self-knowledge, ayun. Sa example naman ng metacognitive is, appropriate use, sa remember, sa understand is execute, apply is to construct, analyze naman is achieve, evaluate naman sa action, and create sa actualize. Ngayon ay nalaman na natin yung type of knowledge using cognition, which is the factual knowledge, kung saan basic specific discipline lang ng knowledge. Pangalawa naman is yung conceptual knowledge, which is the knowledge of classification, principle, generalization, theories, and etc. Sa procedural knowledge naman is yung refers to the information of knowledge that helps student to do something specific, strategic, or reflective knowledge. Yung pinakauli naman yung is yung metacognitive knowledge. This is awareness of one on cognition, yun nga, ng self-knowledge. So, by knowing this, the purpose of this proposed revision to Anderson revised taxonomy is to be used in a broader and more comprehensive view by educators, teachers, instruction, professional trainers, and curriculum planners. Further, evaluation will intend to promote student thinking and still in order to make them good thinkers, creators, discoverers, builders, and critical thinkers. Will be in a better position to serve the societies and nation in a good, productive manner in order to within information age. So, ayun nga nung ambag ni Anderson sa revised Bloom taxonomy. So, ngayon naman ay dumako tayo kay David Cratwell. Siya rin ay meron taxonomy. So, ayun nga, sino nga ba si Cratwell? Si Cratwell ay pinanganak noong sa Chicago ng 1921. Lumaki siya sa Chicago and graduate from the University of Chicago. And also, he served the U.S. Army during the World War II and returned to the University of Chicago for his MSM PhD. Si Cratwell daw ay co-author of Taxonomy of Education, Objectives, Cognitive Domain, Senior Author of Taxonomy of Education, Objective Affective Domain on Co-Editor of Taxonomy for Learning, Teaching and Assessing and Revision Bloom Taxonomy. So ayun nga, isa siya sa gumawa ng Revised Bloom Taxonomy na kasama ni Anderson. So ngayon nga, ngayon tapos na natin kilalanin si Cratwell, ngayon naman alamin naman natin ang kanyang Cratwell's Taxonomy of Affective Domain. So, alam naman natin na karamihan sa atin ay alam na ito dahil bawat lesson natin lagi na ito natuturo. Ayun nga. Yung Cratwell Taxonomy of Affective Domain ay may limang categories, which is receiving, pinakamababa. Pangalawa is responding. Pangatlo is yung valuing. Pang-apat, organization. And panglima is characterization by value set. Sabi nga ni Cratwell, Cratwell's affective domain is taxonomy is perhaps the best known of any affective taxonomies. The taxonomy is ordered to according to the principle of internalization. Internalization is refers to the process whereby a person's affect toward an object passes from the general awareness level to the point where the affect in intermediate and consistently guides or control to the person behavior. Affective learning is a demonstrate by behaving indicate attitudes of awareness, interest, attention, concern, and responsibility, ability to listen and respond in interaction with others, and ability to demonstrate those attitudinal characteristics of values which are appropriate to test situation in field of study. So, ano-ano nga ba nung level na affective domains? Katulad nga na sinabi ko, meron tong 5. Unahin na natin is nung receiving. Receiving is a being aware of or sensitive the existence of certain ideas, materials, or phenomena and being willing to tolerate them. Example nito is nung differentiate, to accept, to listen, to respond, and anymore. Sa verbs naman is as, chooses, describe, follows, gives, holds, identify, locates, name, place, and anymore. Nung pangalawang level naman ng affective domains, Cratwell affective domains is yung responding. Ito naman is ng pag-commit ng isang maliit na measure sa idea, materials, phenomena involved by actively responding them. Example nito is to comply, to follow, to commend, to volunteer. Ito pangatlo naman is yung valuing. Ito naman is willing to be perceived by others as valuing certain ideas, materials, phenomena. Example nga nito is yung pag-increase ng measured frequency, relinquish the subsidies, to support, and to debate. Yung verbs naman nito is nung complete, describes, differentiate, explain, follows, form, initiate. Yung pangapat naman is organization, is to relate the value to those already held and bring into harmonious and internally consistent philosophy. Example naman nito is to discuss, to theorize, to formulate, to balance, to examine, and many more. Sa verb naman nito is adhere, after, arrange, combine, and compare. Sa panglima naman is characterization naman. Yung characterization naman is by value or value set is to act constantly in accordance with the values he or she has informalize. Example nito is ng pag-revise, ay to revise, to require to be rate high in the value, to avoid, to resist, to manage, to resolve. Yung verb words naman nitong level na to is act, discriminate, display, influence, listen, modifies, perform, practice, propose, quality, question, devices, service, solve, uses, and verify. So ayun nga, nalaman na natin ang Krathwohl Taxonomy of Affective Domains na ito ay may 5 level, which is nung receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. So ayun lang ang aking report sa araw na to. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Adrian JG Tambong and I'm about to discuss Harrow's psychomotor domain. So, sino ba ang gumawa ng Harrow's psychomotor domain? Ang gumawa nun is si Anita Harrow. So, Anita Harrow's taxonomy for the psychomotor domain is organized based sa degree of coordination, kasama na yung involuntary responses at learned capabilities. Simple reflexes begin at the lowest level of the taxonomy, while the complex neuromuscular coordination make up the highest level. Katulad sa mga naunang nabanggit na mga taxonomy, salamat sa pangunguna ni Binibining Jennifer Ann Rinconada at Ginoong Michael Vista, meron ding levels ang Harrow psychomotor domain mula sa baba hanggang pataas. So, mag-umpisa tayo sa baba. Una, reflex movement. Sunod is basic fundamental movement. Pangatlo, perceptual. Pang-apat, physical activities. Pang-lima, skill movements. At ang panghuli at ang pinakamataas na level is non-discursive communication. So, yung taxonomy of psychomotor domain ni Anita Harrow, it mainly focuses on the development of physical fitness, dexterity, agility, and body control to achieve a high level of expertise. Harrow's taxonomy is organized base doon sa degree ng coordination, kasama na yung involuntary responses and learned capabilities, gaya nga na sinabi ko kanina. Nag-uumpisa siya sa simple reflexes and sa pakalauna, sa pagtagal, nagkakaroon ng complex, highly expressive movements in which it requires coordination and precision. Dito sa taxonomy ni Harrow, meron siyang iba't ibang levels of psychomotor domain. Yun yung reflex movement, basic fundamental movements, perceptual movement, physical activities, skill movement, and non-discursive communication. So, reflex movements. Reflex movements are actions elicited without learning in response to some stimuli. Examples include flexion, extension, stretch, postural adjustment. So, reflex movements are normal movements. Hindi nila need ng extra conditions or training. Like, natural na sa atin and it is very easy to adopt or use. Additionally, they require only minimal effort to perform. Ang mga actions na to ay gaya ng reaching out, standing. Ito yung mga example ng movement na to. So, next is basic fundamental movements. They are inherent movement patterns which are formed by combining of reflex movements and are the basis of complex skilled movements. Examples are walking, running, pushing, twisting, gripping, grasping, and manipulating. So, dito sa basic fundamental movement naman is, it is what we normally do. It is a harder, a little bit than the reflex movement. Kasi dito, need natin i-train kagaya nga nung sa mga bata pa tayo, mga bata pa. Need natin i-train sila para makapaglakad, makatakbo. Pero, ideally, it is still very easy kasi paulit-ulit lang natin tong ginagawa. This consists of daily tasks kagaya ng mga nabanggit na walking, running, pushing, twisting, gripping, etc. Next naman is perceptual. So, it refers to interpretation of various stimuli that enable one to make adjustment to the environment. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or tactile discriminations suggests cognitive as well as psychomotor behavior. Examples include coordinated movements such as jumping rope, punting, or catching. So, dito naman sa perceptual movement naman is, ito yung movement in which it is the response to our environment or surroundings natin. Sa naunang nabanggit na reflex movements at basic fundamental movements, there is only a little cognitive involvement. Whereas dito sa perceptual movement naman is, ito yung direktang response natin sa environment natin. So, bigay tayong example. So, catching. Sa pagsalo, catching nga. Once na may binigay sa atin, like, ihagis yung bagay na yon, naisip agad natin na saluhin agad yon. This can also be functional. Yung, like, tayo yung magde-decide. Kasi dito, sa example ko, instinct lang yun. It changes based sa environment na kailangan nating gawin. So, next is physical activities. It requires endurance, strength, vigor, and agility which produce a sound, efficiently functioning body. Examples are all activities which require A. Strenuous effort for long periods of time, B. Muscular exertion, C. A quick, wide range of motion at the hips joint, and D. Quick, precise movement. So, physical activity now puts active strain to the body. This is characterized by tuloy-tuloy na proseso ng paggalaw, and it demands high physical requirements in order para ma-perform mo yung certain activities na gagawin. It is also important to note that this makes our body actively fit. So, examples nito is yung mga nagmo-mountain climbing, lifting, yon. Next is skilled movements. Skilled movements are the result of acquisition of a degree of efficiency when performing a complex tasks. Examples are all skilled activities obvious in sport, recreation, and dance. So, dito naman tayo sa skilled. So, skilled movement is now the most sophisticated movement. Bakit natin masasabing sophisticated siya? Dito kasi natin ma-achieve mo lang to like sa pamamagitan ng tuloy-tuloy na practice and rigorous training. Through immense physical strain and energy spent, itong movements na to ay precise and do their jobs or purpose better. Ayun. Dito, kailangan yung mga pinapractice mo is tugma doon sa gagawin mong activities. So, an example nga doon is yung mga nasa sports, dance. Isasama ko na rin yung playing instruments, pagpa-play ng mga instruments. Kasi, di ba, nagpa-practice sila ng nagpa-practice para maging precise and accurate sila sa ginagawa nila. Although parehong nagte-train yung dalawang movement na physical activity and skilled movements, physical activities refer to the general bodily movements, while on the other hand, skilled movements are involved specifically learned actions specifically learned actions that required coordination and precision. Next is non-discursive communication. So, it is communication through bodily movements ranging from facial expression through sophisticated choreographics. Examples include body postures, gestures, and facial expressions efficiently executed in skilled dance movement and choreographics. So, basically, yung non-discursive movement is to convey a message through moving. They are able to communicate and express gamit yung actions na ginagawa nila. Para siyang like non-verbal actions. So, examples nito ay yung mga ancient dance and rituals na ginagamit sa cultures, 'di ba? Meron doon na ginagawa sila in which it is a movement kasi may binibigay na message doon sila, kaya nagiging ritual 'yon na naka-integrate na dito sa kultura ng mga tao.
So, to sum it all up, Bloom's taxonomy of education objectives is a hierarchical ordering of skills in different domains whose primary use is to help teachers teach and students learn effectively and efficiently. The meaning of Bloom's taxonomy can be understood by exploring its three learning domains, which are cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Each of these domains further consists of a hierarchy that denotes different levels of learning. The fact that each domain is hierarchical means that learners need to move through these domains one step at a time. They cannot proceed to a new level without completing the previous one. This is an important characteristic of Bloom's taxonomy. It fits with Bloom's taxonomy's objectives in providing a systematic and gradual learning process. And that will be all. Thank you for listening to us.